Hey guys, so I'm back with another process video, and I will be using my summer kit today again. So I'm starting off with this picture. It's a really bad picture, but anyway. So I really wanted to use that green paper you see there is the statement of entry for the A-level exams I took this year. And I wanted to kind of include that on my page because I really liked the sort of typewriter font, and that mint green color was really cool as well. So that is what I'm going to do. That statement of entry is an A4 size paper, so we'll fill a lot of the page up. And then I matted my photo on my trusty white cardstock notebook kind of paper thing there. It's a scrap piece from the 12 by 12 paper when I cut it down, the white one. And I'm going to talk about this photo for a bit. So this photo, I took it in front of the examination center after I finished my last exam. And I was trying to take a photo in secret because I didn't want to be the weird person that's taking a picture, taking a selfie right after you finished a 2-hour exam in front of a random examination building. So I went into a corner where not a lot of people passed by, and I was trying to snap a picture in between people walking by. So the best one I got was this one, and it's not really good, but what am I going to do about it? I still document the story. So now I'm going through all the papers that I have in this kit, and I first chose that black and white paper there. That's a 6x6 paper from it's what's left of a 6x6 paper from the Happy Place collection. And I do still want some color because that's black and white again, and it's right next to the white border mat of the photo. So I'm going to glue down that statement of entry and start to work on my layers here. So I thought I was going to use one of these pieces, so I'm going to go through and I wanted to use one of these somewhere, so I went through and picked out a couple of the phrases that might have worked on this page. And I'm not going to use any yet just because I need to have some more layers and stuff before I add embellishments and titles. So I thought that this paper here will be appropriate with the plus signs since the A-levels I took were math this year. The first part of the math A-levels. If you're from the States, you probably don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But if you're from the UK or Europe, you probably have a better idea. But it's not really important. So anyway, and then I wanted some more color, so I took this geometric triangle piece to add behind, and that is what I have there at the moment. But I feel like that plus paper is blending too much with the mint green of the statement of entry. So now I'm going to cut out some florals here. I mean, the florals don't have to do anything with the exam, but I'm standing in front of this bush tree thing, so I thought, what the heck, I might as well just use them. I cut out a few. I'm going to cut out a few more in just a bit. And I'm going to layer an orange one and a yellow one right next to my photo there. And I decide that that plus paper is not going to work, but I do flip it over and use that geometric pattern instead. I just felt that plus paper blended too much, the light blue color of it blended in too much with the statement of entry, and I wanted it to stand out a bit more. So trying those phrases again. Now what you'll notice with the phrases I used on this layout throughout is that there's a mixture of positive ones and negative ones, and that is because I was kind of documenting a double story. And one is about how I felt good about how I did on the exams, and so that's why I'm going to use phrases like good job and stuff like that. But then on the other hand, I'm also really happy that I don't have to go to math class every day anymore until September again. So that's why the layout might seem confusing if you don't read the journaling. But anyway, I'm fussy cutting out more flowers here. Oh, and I've added that heart. So I have these chipboard hearts that are black and white that have mathematical equations on them. So I thought this layout would be perfect to use those on, and so I made sure I used them. And now I have a second cluster going on the bottom left. So I have two of the flowers I cut out, a pink one and an orange one, and I also have the leftover strip of that geometric pattern from when I used it behind my picture. And I also have a heart in both of the clusters. So then I pulled this black and white paper back, and I'm going to layer it behind the geometric pattern. And I don't want to waste that whole piece, so I just cut two strips, and I'm going to put those behind my photo. And now I'm going to go through Project Life cards because I felt like I needed something somewhere. And this is the Perfectly Imperfect set. So I'm going to use one that says ridiculous in a bit. And that's an example of how it's kind of like a negative whatever. Because I was literally going to math class every day for the past 2 months, and it was driving me bonkers. I did these exams. These exams are not part of the school system here, of the public school system in Cyprus. So I have to do them elsewhere if I want to do them. And they're the exams that the British universities require for entry. Like sort of like Americans have SATs. The British people have A-levels, but they are a 2-year exam, and you have to take 3 of them for British universities if you're just taking A-levels and not going to a public school. So I know it's a bit confusing, but basically it's the British exams that you need to go to British universities. And for example, depending on the caliber of the school I want to go to, I need at least one A-level in addition to my school transcript. So yeah. So this is the first one, and I'm probably going to do a second one as well next year. So anyway, that might have been too much information about school examinations. So I'm going to start to glue everything down here. Now I do want to add some mixed media, which is why I'm going to make sure that this statement of entry is glued down really, really well, especially on the sides, because I don't want the paint to seep under the paper and unglue it or make it or warp it. So I'm just going to want to make sure that it's glued down well, and then I'm going to add gesso on top of it with just my palette knife there. And I use just white gesso, the white gesso that I can find at a local, I guess, art shop, or no, it's not really an art shop, it's more of a bookstore and stationery store, so I'll combine. I'm sure I could find a better brand at some art shop, but it will be much more expensive, and there's no reason for that. So anyway, so I'm just going to do the packaging technique here with a couple of distressing. So I'm starting off with the tumbled glass distressing. And then I'm going to add the spiced marmalade. And then I'm just bringing in all the colors that I have in my layers. So that's blue, yellow. Well, I don't have any blue anywhere, but I felt that as a base color, it would be a nice color to blend in with the other ones in the background. So I have blue, orange, and yellow. So the yellow I used, I think, it's either mustard seed or fossilized amber. I'm not entirely sure about that. Yeah. So when the blue kind of mixes with the yellow, you get a kind of minty green. I could have used cracked pistachio and just get it over with, but that's why I chose to use the blue. It's because sometimes it gets a greenish hue to it, and the blue is also a nice accent color to kind of break all these colors that I have on here. So anyway, I positioned all of my embellishments back on all of my papers, and I decided that I'm going to put that Happy Thoughts word down at the bottom there. And now I wanted to bring in a bit more of that mint color, so I got a mint cardstock, and I'm going to punch out 2 hearts. I'm only going to end up using 1, and that's going to be in the layer right there next to my photo. And I tried to use 1 down at the bottom, but I didn't want the mint heart to overlap the mint statement of entry, so it had to be somewhere in the clusters that was not on top of the statement of entry, so I could only make one of the hearts work, and that's okay. I'll just save the other one for another time. Maybe I even threw it out because I have so much of that cardstock. So anyway, then I'm going to add some washi tape. This is my all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite washi tapes, and I've been using it a lot lately on my layouts. So it's by Scotch, and I'm going to add a strip to the top and a strip to the bottom. That just adds a very subtle detail, but I like it. And now I'm going to glue everything down finally. So gluing things down. I don't know why I didn't edit this out. I'm sorry, guys. Have to watch me glue all these things down. So yeah, now I'm gonna glue down that project life card up there, and that is just a match, just space for me to do journaling, and it has orange and the pink in it. So yeah, I'm gonna glue down the cluster at the bottom as well. Oh, and that floral paper is from the Simple Stories, Sunshine and Happiness, and so is that geometric pattern. But I'm not really mentioning the brands of all this stuff because I mentioned them all in the kit share. So if you haven't watched that yet, there's a playlist on my channel for this kit. There's also a playlist on my channel for the whole July Scrapathon this year, and I'll also try and remember to link the kit share in the description below. So now that I have some spare time of me just gluing things down, I'd like to mention that I'm not going to have pictures at the end of my videos anymore because I don't know. I don't think a lot of people stick around to the very end. So if you really want to see pictures, I will have them over on Instagram. And also it's a lot easier for me to make videos if I don't include pictures at the end. It's just a lot faster for me to create them. So I'm adding a bit more washi tape up to kind of up by the project life card. Kind of seems that's what's keeping it there, but it's not. And then I also added some over to the bottom cluster over there. And I'm going to use my Zig Writer glue pen to glue down that Happy Thoughts piece, I think. And I'm going to bring in this wood veneer. So I'm going to start with this this gold arrow because I thought it has a yellowish gold. It's a kind of like a yellowish gold, and I thought that it will work well with the oranges, but I don't know. I don't really like it. I mean, not the color, just the arrow there. I didn't really want another embellishment up there. I felt like it clashed too much with the heart there. I don't know. It did not look right, so I'm going to get rid of it. And then I'm going to try and use that black piece that says Make Today Count, but it was just too black. And I had these couple of banners left from the Brad set. I used the brads that were attached on them, but not the banners. So I'm going to stick one in behind one of the florals. Very subtle detail, but... And now I'm going to pick out some brads that I'm going to use. Actually, I'm only going to use one. And it's the one that says Top Notch. And I'm going to stick it up there by the Project Life card. And then I have this wood veneer heart on the bottom cluster as well, but I'm not going to end up using neither the heart nor the arrow. And what really made me get rid of that goldish color is I pulled in the gold word stickers that I had that were more of a metallic rather than a yellowish color. I don't know if that makes sense. But the golds did not match, and I also didn't like the placement of that arrow there anyway, so I'm just going to get rid of them and instead add a couple of these words. So here's where I use like good job, but then I'm also going to use bye-bye and believe. So they kind of contradict each other, but once you read the journaling, you might kind of understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I'm going to glue down a bunch of things. Now, because I took the backs of those brads off, like the things that pierce the page, because I'm not in the mood to pierce my pages, it's just too much of a hassle. I had to add some foam behind the brad to be able to glue it onto my page. So yeah, I thought maybe I can now. I don't know why I did not just get rid of that arrow to begin with, and I was trying to use it for so long. But anyway, and now I'm finally gonna use these stickers that I've had for a year and I could not use anywhere. These are by Mambi, and I'm gonna use one that has a speech bubble up in the flowers in yellow. I'm gonna use a yellow camera one down in the bottom cluster, and a pink one by the Happy Thoughts. There we go. I'm bringing in that black piece again, but I couldn't find a place for it, so I'm just not going to use it on this layout. And then to the sticker sheets, I don't know if I used anything. I don't think I actually used anything from those sticker sheets. I thought about it, but I don't think I did. Now I'm going to just add some splatter. I used the picked raspberry for the splatter because I had not used any pink paint before, so I'm just going to use it as a splatter, and also brings in some pink. So I think that's about going to complete the page. So thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, actually, no, that's not going to complete the page. I'm going to spell out the word A-levels with the tile alphabet stickers in like this whitish, creamish level color, not level color, up at the top there. It wasn't really necessary, but I thought I might as well add it on there. So I think that will complete the layout. Let's just wait and see here. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out the pictures on Instagram if you're interested, and I will see you tomorrow.